Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me today, of course, guys. Thank you very, very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Guys, please, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Let me just write this tweet. There we go. All good. All right, okay, guys, how you all doing? Now, guys, look, you know, I wanted to talk briefly about Manchester United, what's going on around the club and what's going on with transfers in, transfers out, and things like that. And one thing that really sort of I've been thinking about over this last few hours, I mean, not religiously, but it did catch my mind today in regards to Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo. And not only that, potential signings for Manchester United and potential players that could possibly come into this club, are they going to be stifled by Bruno Fernandes? And this is very important because I want to talk about this seriously on a level, man, you know what I mean? And be an adult about this. And I want to say that in regards to Bruno Fernandes, no matter who plays next to Bruno Fernandes, will the player that plays next to him be affected by Bruno Fernandes because of his ill discipline in the team? And I was thinking that Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic number 10. We know that. He's a good number 10. But when he plays number 8, he does leave the player next to him very isolated. And I was thinking that no matter which player comes in, they're going to be affected by Bruno Fernandes. Now, obviously, there's the Kobbie Mainoo thing. Ruben said that Kobbie Mainoo is in direct competition with Bruno Fernandes in regards to the number 8 spot. But Kobbie Mainoo has not featured this season. So I want to know what you guys feeling is about it. Because when I think about Kobbie Mainoo, generational, we were talking about him a year ago, wasn't even a couple of years ago. And he was actually in the European final with England. He actually went to the Euros at 20 years old with England. And when you think about that and you think about what happened, what's going on, is he being stifled by Bruno Fernandes? Is there an element of favoritism going on here? And, you know, I know that all managers have their favorites. All managers, you'd be naive to think that managers didn't have their favorites. Even Alex Ferguson had his favorites. But when you think about Kobbie Mainoo and his age, you know, it is a little bit worrying because he is a very good player. Now, I've always said over the last few weeks, Man United's team should be Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo in midfield. I feel that's the most balanced. I feel it is. Maybe if you're pushed to shove, you put Casemiro and Mainoo. I think that is the most balanced. I do think that's most balanced. I think that's most disciplined in that position. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that. I think it's going to be Bruno or nothing else. And that's the big issue with it. Now, whoever comes into this summer in for the rest of the summer window, apparently Man United have 150 million more to spend in this transfer window. So they can afford a new midfielder. They can. I mean, obviously, they'll probably get Senny Lamens, and then that will leave us with about 120 million to spend. So they can afford a new midfielder. They can even probably afford Baleba if push comes to shove. They probably can afford him. You know, will they do that? I doubt it. But you know what? It is a possibility that Man United come in with another bid later on this week, of course. So hopefully Man United do sign a player. But I want to know, you know, how this player is going to fit into the midfield when we got a problem with Bruno Fernandes. And Bruno Fernandes is guaranteed a spot in that midfield position. He's guaranteed. No arguments, no stress. That is the guy in the midfield for Ruben, no matter how he plays. Now, the overriding concern for me yesterday, obviously, was the comments about he was a little bit triggered by the referee, and he was not himself after that penalty miss. So the manager needs to take a decision there. He needs to take a decision, and if Bruno Fernandes is not playing well and he's mentally all over the place, take him off. Bring on another player. Bring on Kobbie Mainoo. That is what should have happened yesterday. Now, obviously, it's disappointing that happens. And then obviously, it's very self-righteous. And in hindsight, anything, you know, you could say anything. You know, you're going to have to get on your high horse and start saying, no, this and this and that. This should have happened. That should have happened. Ultimately, he should have been taken off. The penalty was rash. I honestly think the referee got to him. I did. Because look at Bruno Fernandes' technique when he takes penalties, you know, for the last 100 times. He's taking penalties, little jog, hop, place in a corner. Hop, place it in a corner. Against Fulham, he blasted it. When has he ever done that? He let the referee get involved and get inside him, and then basically he let it affect the football team. He let it affect Manchester United. And that is what was disappointing for me, because ultimately, as Manchester United captain, you are supposed to be the guy, the inspiration. Nothing phases you. Brian Robson, Eric Cantona, Wayne Rooney. And I bring Wayne Rooney into the situation, in the conversation. Wayne Rooney once had an argument with the referee and then turned around and smacked one in the top corner against Newcastle United. That is the reaction that you have. We all know that referees don't like Man United. We know that. Why was that referee barging Bruno Fernandes in the first place? What is that nudge about? Why is he doing that? Should that be happening in top level sport? That looks a bit precarious. That looks a bit dodgy, doesn't it, to me? A little bit sinister to me. Why would he do that? Why would he barge into Bruno Fernandes anyway? Even though it's soft and that. But we should know that hated adored, never ignored. We are hated by everyone. We don't sit here and talk about refereeing decisions and what referees do because we're being, sore losers and things like that. Absolutely. To the contrary, we're not. We know that there is a bias against Manchester United, and that's pretty evident. And I could create a dossier, right, and go to a meeting, a board meeting, which will last about 3 hours of decisions that have gone against Manchester United that should have been the other way around, and have been contradicted the next week. So this is what I'm saying, So I want to know, all in all, is Bruno Fernandes' time at Man United coming to an end? Is it coming to an end? Should it come to an end? And if so, who should play in his position? If, it is a new player coming in. Who's your choice? Because look, guys, people are saying, why is Ugarte coming off for Casemiro, not Mainoo? Because obviously Ugarte's a number 6, Casemiro's a number 6. Only Mainoo is going to replace Bruno in our squad. Only Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo is the one that can replace Bruno. Will Ruben Amorim take the bold move, the brave move, to drop Bruno Fernandes? Will he do it? I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it. I spoke about it this morning. I actually feel that he is going to drop Bruno Fernandes. I actually feel that eventually he will drop Bruno Fernandes. I believe that. I really do, guys. Absolutely. Big up everyone in the stream. Thank you so much for joining me. You absolute legends. Thank you, guys. But, guys, one thing I would stress, we are behind Ruben Amorim. I'm behind the manager. I want to tell you that right now. Of course, there are some little finer details that need to be ironed out. But no manager is perfect. They all have these little bits and itty bits that, you could say that, criticisms. I used to criticize Alex Ferguson for continuously playing Darren Fletcher, because one time I didn't rate Darren Fletcher and then he ended up becoming a very good player. But obviously he would, playing around so many great players. But I used to criticize it about 2004, 2005, when we were finishing low in the league. And I used to be so annoyed. Oh, Darren Fletcher again. Oh, bloody Darren Fletcher again. Obviously, we didn't have social media back then, but we had obviously the Man United forum. And I was like this on the Man United forum, like this, all you know what I mean, for hours. I used to do night shifts in the corporate site. And I used to be on that Man United website. Blah, 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 blah. I got banned twice on the Man United website. Do you know what I mean? And back then I had a season ticket. So big up everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is blessed, guys. Hope you're doing well, of course. Hope everyone is good, guys. Yeah, Strand Larsen looks likely to go to Newcastle. Strand Larsen's a 50 million target for Newcastle, of course. Good afternoon, as how the owners do not know we need a midfield. They do know that we need a midfield, and I think they will get one. I'm going to put my head out there, guys, and there's only a few days left to go. I think that we will get someone. I think we will get someone. Who it is I mean, that's up in the air at the moment, but I do actually believe Ephraim, bigger Ephraim, by the way, that we will get someone. Absolutely. Sal, after 2 games, saying Amorim out is crazy. Some of the fans are reactionary. It's not only that, Ephraim. You know what it is? It's the same fans that already planted the seed from last season. Those same fans, guys, wanted Ruben Amorim out last season. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, just round and round. They were waiting for their moment, and their moment has come. And they're like, yes, get him out. I told you guys, get him out. And we have a really weird section of the fan base that we're our own worst enemy. We're on Twitter and they're arguing with each other about minute little things, stupid little things, right? If I speak about shoehorning players into a team is not a good thing to do, is it? It's not a good thing to do. But someone would come on your comments and say, oh, but this, Man United did this, Man United did this. Man United always played a balanced lineup. More times than not, 9 times out of 10, a balanced lineup. And when I bring in an example like the Champions League final, we were unbalanced for most of that game. We were unbalanced, and Bayern Munich should have been 3-0 up. Now, someone will always come back, and I was at that game, and someone will always come back and they will argue with you about it. This is just the way of these Man United, some of these Man United sections, fan base, the cult section of the fan base that are very argumentative, and they refuse to change their opinions, and they just want to be right. That's what it is at the end of the day. Calling for the manager's head after 2 games is ridiculous. It's crazy, scandalous, mad, crazy, nutty. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't understand it. And I don't class them as Man United fans. I really don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. You can have your opinion. You can have your constructive opinion about what Ruben Amorim did right, what Ruben Amorim did wrong. I was there yesterday saying that he's got the lineup wrong. He should have played Sesko. He should have done this. He should have done that. You know, but at the end of the day, what I would say is that he didn't make Bruno miss that penalty, did he? He didn't make Dalot unable to track his man. You know, he didn't make Bruno Fernandes lose his man in the midfield. Guys, Borussia Dortmund and Tottenham, Fabio Silva, Borussia Dortmund. Just reading some of the news, guys, that's coming out. Absolutely. John O'Connell, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Play Bruno at 10 next time. Cunha, why did we sign in Bruno? Play Bruno at 10 next time. Why did we? I don't think so, John. I think we drop Bruno. And we play in Bruno. And Bruno needs to play. And Bruno needs to get into the game. He's a very expensive signing. He needs to play. And I think he'll be ready next game. Play him against Grimsby, play him against Burnley, and I think he'll be ready. I think it's Bruno Fernandes that needs to be dropped. Bruno Fernandes has cost us now 3 goals, right? In 3 games, right? 3 goals in 3 games. Europa League final, when he gave away the ball for the corner. Arsenal, when he gave away the ball for the corner. Europa League, sorry, when he gave away the ball for the goal. Arsenal, when he gave away the ball for the corner. And now he made a mistake in the middle of the park against Fulham. Now, why is that? Because he's not a midfielder. He doesn't have midfield instincts. He doesn't have defensive instincts. There are strikers and there are attacking players that are good at attacking. For example, you know, if you say right wing back, Ahmad will think right wing. If you say right wing back to Dalot, he will say back. So Dalot will take the right wing. No, Dalot will take the right back. Ahmad will take the right wing. That's their mentality. You know, you need a player that does both, right? You can't have that. Bruno is a bit like midfield. Bruno is attack. Number 10, attack. Defense doesn't come into it. Number 6, number 8 doesn't come into it. He's all about attack, attack, attack. This playing, shoehorning players into positions is detrimental to the team. It's bad for the team because at the end of the day, these players don't have defensive instinct. Bruno doesn't have a midfield instinct. Like I was talking about Paul Scholes having 360 vision, like Iniesta, Xavi, midfielders. It's a specialist position that players play in it their whole life. This is why I will play Kobbie Mainoo ahead of Bruno, because he's been playing that position his whole life. You know? So I think that Bruno doesn't have defensive, basically instincts in regards to doing his defensive work in the midfield. He has attacking instinct. So he's going to make mistakes. And so far, he's made 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3. You could pick the bones out of it as much as you like. He's made 3 out of 3 mistakes that have cost us the game, relatively. Yeah, there were overriding context in regards to that and things that happened before that. But it wouldn't have happened if that didn't happen, you know? Helge, buongiorno. How you doing, Helge? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I think Amorim should be at least so if they are a competition for places, Bruno has 99% of the games last 5 years and never gets subbed. Does that mean Mainoo's career is over? Exactly, Helge. And this is what I'm saying. Look, if Ruben Amorim, and I ideally want Ruben Amorim to succeed at this football club because I like Ruben Amorim. I think he's a good manager, a young manager, an up-and-coming manager, and will be a brilliant manager for many years to come. So what I want him to do, I just want to say out of frustration because I know that we're very close. We're very close. It's just these finer details that we need to sort out, to get us over the line, to get us into a more balanced sort of thing. I don't think many problems at this team. I really don't. I think it's overrated in regards to the problems in this team. I think that is overrated at the end of the day. I think the problem in this team is one or two players. Bruno, Dalot, right wing, and the midfield is the problem, in my opinion. And I think that is the two big problems in our team. And that, obviously, when the teams play against us, they target it. And the goalkeeper, of course. And hopefully we'll be sorting out the goalkeeper, in the next few days, next few hours. We never know. We might get Senny Lamens in the next few hours. There might be a here we go, an all-time bomber, or a done and dusted from Stretford Post, of course. But what we're saying is that there's 2-3 positions in that team that need fixing. And once those positions are fixed, I think Man United won't be as bad as people envision. They're not as bad as people think. Of course, the biggest problem at Man United is putting that ball in the back of the net, creating clear-cut chances. And this is, again, small margins. Small little details. Cross the ball when you got a chance to cross the ball. Stop cutting in. Do the overlapping runs. Where's overlapping runs? We haven't seen anything like that, Make overlapping runs. Spread the game a little bit. But most of all, get crosses into that box. Play Sesko, get crosses into that box. Because I believe you me, if Ahmad is running on that wing, right, and he gets a crossing first time, the last thing you want to do as a defender is defend a first-time cross. You have no time to prepare. When you're going in, cutting in, back pass, cut in, left, inverted, cut in, you have a lot of time to prepare for that. You can just say, okay, you carry on. You carry on. If you get that ball like Beckham did, you're like, oh, no, he's going to cross the ball. He's going to cross the ball. Cross comes in. Havoc in the defense. Especially when you whip that ball in. And this is one thing I saw in the friendlies against Fiorentina. When Mbeumo got that ball, he whipped it in. And I was thinking to myself, why did it take us 30 minutes yesterday to cross a football into the box? Why did it take us 30 minutes to do that? And, why? Do they not want our strikers to score? Because I've seen this with Rasmus Højlund. I've seen this as well. Do they not want our striker to score? This is what I would say, And these are not coming from the manager. I'm pretty sure the manager has not told Ahmad not to cross. I'm pretty sure the manager has not told Dalot to be out of position and give away the ball and swing at the ball in the middle of the park, which led to Fulham's equaliser. I'm sure he didn't do that. He didn't tell Bruno to smash the ball over the bar, did he? Because he's frustrated and angry and petulant. At the end of the day, what I would say is that, there are small details in this football team that need to be addressed. It can be fixed. I hope it will be fixed. If I was Ruben Amorim, if I could go in front of Ruben Amorim, I'd say, Ruben, you know what? Sometimes football needs to be simplified. You could play the same formation. It's not formation. It's not tactics. That is overrated. It's nothing to do with that. It is nothing to do with that. This whole business, Mainoo can't fit in the formation. Mainoo can't do this. D can't do this. He can't do this. It's nothing to do with that. Of course they can do that. Of course they can fit into the formation. It's the same. It's just the same. Apart from you got wing backs. You know what I mean? What I would say to Ruben Amorim is just try and simplify it. Get your wingers to get crosses into the ball. What I would be drilling in the training, I'll be drilling them every single day. Run on the wing, cross first time. Run on the wing, cross first time. Beckham used to stay behind training just to practice his free kicks, just to practice his crosses. And that is the difference, isn't it? Because he knew how important it is. I've been right in front of Beckham. I was at West Ham and I was right there in front of Beckham. And the ball was still. It was at a standstill. And Beckham just went one look up, poof, all the way floated on, goal. It's so simple. And football hasn't changed like that. People would say to you, oh, but football's changed. Sal, football's not the same as it used to be, blah, blah, blah. Football's not the same as it used to be, Sal. Football's not changed like that. We've overcomplicated it. Football's the same as it always has been. We're just overcomplicating it. Get that ball into the box. You can mix it up. We got talent. You can mix it up. Of course, you can shoot sometimes. You can pass it sometimes. You put a through ball sometimes. But more times than not, when you're on that wing, look up, hit that ball into the box. Especially now that we got Sesko in that team. Big up Helge. Bruno is not and will never be an 8, whilst Mainoo is an 8. So we're playing player out of position to keep a natural fit on the bench. It does not make sense. I agree with that, Helge. And the only sense I make of it, and it's not tactically naive, it's nothing to do with ability. It's nothing to do with Ruben Amorim's ability. It's nothing to do with Ruben Amorim. It's nothing to do with Ruben Amorim's ability to manage the team. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with, I'm sorry, favoritism. And he wants to play Bruno. And look, I don't blame him, because at the end of the day, I know with Spanish football, I know with Italian football, I know with Portuguese and French, there is obviously preferable treatment to your countryman. There is. And I think he has got a little bit of that with Dalot and Bruno. Dalot shouldn't be at the football club. I remember when he was on loan at AC Milan, and I spoke to some AC Milan colleagues that I've got, and they said to me, he's one of the worst right backs they've ever seen. And this is coming from AC Milan. They said he's tactically inept. He's positionally inept. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes we have to move on. It doesn't matter if you like a player. Alex Ferguson got rid of Brian McClare, even though he's Scottish and things. He had to get, you know what I mean? And sometimes you just have to move. Jim Leighton, Alex Ferguson got rid of him. It's not, the problem is, I'm starting to think that I don't want to think too sinister, but I'm starting to think it is a communication thing, because they both speak their native language. They both speak Portuguese and things like that. And I think that is the problem, Big up, Steve. How you doing, my friend? Welcome, Steve. Where were you yesterday? What's going on? Sorry, Helge. Mainoo's not an 8. He does know what it is. He doesn't even know what it is. Look, Steve, he's a number 8, and he's a very good number 8. The problem is he's being stifled by Bruno Fernandes, Steve. Bruno Fernandes is the problem. Not only for Ugarte and Casemiro, he's a problem for Mainoo as well. Mainoo is a number 8. Mainoo's proven he can play number 8. He played it for England in a different formation. Right, and he's played it for Man United many times. Right, forget about the 3-4-2-1 and all that. It doesn't matter. You're central midfield. Same thing. At the end of the day, we're not telling him to play as a defender, are we? You're telling him to play the number 8. Mainoo can play the number 8. What makes people think that he can't play number 8? He's the best number 8 we got. He's the best one we got. The number 6 is different. Mainoo's not a number 6. He's not a defensive player. He's a number 8. He's a very good number 8. At the end of the day, what number 8 have we got? Who else? I would rather bring someone from the youth academy and play in their natural position than play Bruno Fernandes in the wrong position. I don't care how experienced they are. Balance is most important. You have to keep the balance. Big up, Steve. Evening, my friend. How are we doing? Has to drop Bruno. Otherwise, he will be sacked himself. Let's wait and see. Sorry, but Mainoo is more of a number 8 striker than Bruno is an 8. That's how our position is. Mainoo played look as a number 8 in a European final, a European Championship finals held, isn't it? Absolutely. What it is, right, is that Ruben Amorim is trying to fit make Mainoo into a number 10, because he knows that he wants more choice for Mainoo, because he can't play Mainoo in number 8. And Mainoo's a primarily number 8 player. Brings that ball from deep, brings it forward. If Mainoo was playing for Brighton, if Mainoo was playing for, let's say, any other team in Europe, we would be interested in this player. We would be interested in this player. We would be like, oh, seen that number 8 who plays for Marseille, or seen that number 8 who plays for Monaco. Mainoo, have you heard of him? He's good, isn't it? You know what I mean? We would be doing that at the end of the day. He is a number 8. He's a very good one as well. And I've seen a lot of number 8s at Man United in my life. He's a very good one, and we need to give him a chance, at least. If it doesn't work out, and Mainoo doesn't work out, then you can say, well, at least he gave him an opportunity. At least he played him. He hasn't played him. He hasn't tried him. And that's the thing. What irritates me, because yesterday we needed Mainoo. Bruno needed to come off. The penalty obviously affected him, and he's weak for that. We're Manchester United. He shouldn't be weak as a captain at Man United. Brian Robson, Eric Cantona, Steve Bruce. Do you know what I'm talking about? I can go on and on and on about greats that played at this football club that wouldn't be, triggered by a little nudge from the referee. When you run back, right, hit that ball in the back of the net, Bruno. This is what you do as a Man United player. Let me tell you what you do as a Man United player, Bruno. Hit that ball in the back. Take the penalty like you always take the penalty. Little hop, buried in the corner, right? That's what you do. Don't get angry and blast it over the bar and bring your team into disrepute, basically. So what you do, as you're running back, grab the football, run back, and just go buff on the referee. And say, oh, sorry. An accident. Sorry, mate. I didn't see you there. I was looking down. But hit him hard with your shoulder. That's what he should do. Not be triggered and think that. You know what? You give and take in this world. You give and take. You know what I mean? You give as good as you get. You barge him, but don't make it obvious. You barge him and you just say, sorry, mate. I didn't see you. I was looking down. Sorry, mate. Shake his hand. Everything will be all right. Trust me. That's what he should have done. Right? That's what he should have done. Not, throwing these rattles out of his pram, you know? Big up, Danny B. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Bruno is supposed to replace me, but I don't think Mainoo wants to be a number 8. I think he wants to be a number 10, but no, Ruben, that's not true, Steve. That's speculation, Steve. He wants to be a number 8, but Ruben Amram wants him as a number 10. Ruben Amram sees him as a number 10 because Ruben Amram wants to have more opportunity to play Kobbie Mainoo, but obviously if Kobbie Mainoo can only fit into one position, he has less opportunity to play, and that's what's going on at the moment. Kobbie Mainoo is a number 8. I believe he's number 8. He played there under Erik ten Hag. He absolutely bossed the FA Cup final, wasn't it? Kobbie Mainoo, the FA Cup final. Remember that? Absolutely bossed that midfield with the likes of Rodri and people like that. Absolutely brilliant performance. The goal in the FA Cup final. What a player. Yeah, he can play, like, he can bring the ball forward. He can act like that. I'm pretty sure, and I've not heard anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that Kobbie Mainoo will play regardless. No, I'm pretty sure about that. Ogbegi, Amram is going to finish the young talents from the club. Mainoo is already considering leaving. Don't believe that, Ogbegi. This is media manipulation. There are Mr. Crooks. He's one of them. He's not a Man United fan. He's a chubby fella from Talk Sport who talks bad about Man United all the time. Do not feed into that manipulation. That's what they're doing at the moment. Whatever happens, we keep it in-house between Manchester United and that's it. But do not feed into that, that guy. What's his game? Crooks? I don't even know his bloody name, but I saw him on Talk Sport today. And every single thing that left his mouth, Ogbegi, everything that left his mouth on Talk Sport was negative against Man United. Negative, negative, and negative against Man United. Little things, like a little barge in the back of the Fulham player. We had people on Talk Sport saying it was a penalty for Fulham. Come on. Then the week before that, they were saying, nah, I don't see no penalty on Cunha. Nah, I don't see no penalty on football for Cunha. And this is what I'm talking about, double standard. Do not be deceived by manipulative British media. I'm British. Don't be deceived by their manipulative ways. They want us to turn against Kobbie Mainoo. They want us to have an argument. They want the fan base divided so they get more calls, more clicks. That's what they want at the end of the day. Don't be manipulated by it. Until we hear from the club, until we hear from Ruben Amram, don't be that. He's a big part of Ruben Amram's team. He's a big part of Ruben Amram's squad. Ruben Amram is good at making youngsters. Look at Sporting Lisbon. Diamande, Ignacio, Hoyman, Jokeres. Do I need to say any more? He's made a lot of great players. Quenda. Loads of players there. And I believe in him. Mainoo's going to have to wait his chance. The way Bruno's playing at the moment, Ogbegi, Bruno's going to be dropped. Don't worry about that. Bruno will be dropped. I'm predicting it right now that Bruno Fernandes will be dropped from the team. He will be dropped. Samuel, I would sell Bruno Fernandes in a heartbeat and play Kobbie in the Mainoo in the mid. I agree. And that will add more balance. Absolutely. Absolutely. That will add more balance. Helge, I've never been player C, but I'm allowed to have favourites as anyone. I seriously rate Mainoo that much that I would almost sack any manager who would be willing to sell him. I rate him that much. Look, Helge, what I would say is that I don't think Ruben Amram will want to sell Kobbie Mainoo. The only people that will want to sell Kobbie Mainoo is Jim Ratcliffe and those guys up there. And I tell you why. Full profit, youth academy. Full profit, youth academy. That's what it is at the end of the day. We really are our worst enemy sometimes. We really are. We would big up someone else to downplay our own team and downplay our own manager. Just like when Tottenham beat Man City. We beat Man City last year with Ruben Amram, by the way. By the way, guys, let's not forget that, right? Right. Listen, and a better Man City team than now, right? We're getting things like, oh, look at Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank is cooking. Okay, let's see them in May. Let's see where Tottenham are in May. And then we can talk. Let's not talk after 2 games. Let's talk after 2 games. Let's talk after 30, 35 games. Then we can start talking about where Tottenham are at the end of the day. Because as far as I'm aware, Ange Postecoglou was undefeated for a long, long period of time for Tottenham, wasn't he? If you remember. Ruben Amram needs his head tested. I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Bruno's a number 10, but we haven't got anyone else to control the midfield. Mainoo's not our saviour. Mainoo's better than Bruno in the number 10. This is what we're saying, Steve. Mainoo's better than number 10, in my opinion. Much better. I've seen Mainoo play. I've seen him play for England. I think he can be. He's not the finished product, but, mate, he's 20 years old. He's 20 years old, mate. And he's played it for England in a European Championship final and contributed to England getting to a European Championship final. The man's 19, 20 years old. He's not going to control midfielders like a prime Roy Keane would do. Or Paul Scholes. He's not going to do that yet. But give him a couple of years, he will do. No one is the finished article at 20 years old, Steve. May I remind you where Beckham was at 22? Preston. There's lots of players out there that are not the finished article yet. But let me tell you this. I would much rather put Kobbie Mainoo in that central midfield than Bruno Fernandes, who cannot play it at all. I'd much rather bring Kobbie Mainoo in that central midfield, right, than Bruno Fernandes. Kobbie Mainoo's been playing there his whole career, his whole life. He knows the position like the back of his hand. Than Bruno Fernandes, who doesn't. That is what we're saying. If it works out for Kobbie, great. If it doesn't work out for Kobbie, next. At the moment where we stand, we might not sign a midfielder. If we don't sign a midfielder, then obviously we're going to have to try different things. Because let's be honest, Steve, it's not working, bruv. It's not working, mate. It's not. So Bruno's not working in the middle. Who else we got? Collier, he's injured all the time. Who else? We got Tyler Fletcher. Who we got? Guys, so what we have to do, we've only got Kobbie Mainoo, and Kobbie Mainoo needs to be given an opportunity. At least be given an opportunity. Guys, Steve, you believe in that, right? Opportunity. Everyone should have a fair crack at the whip, which he hasn't. Only a year ago, we were talking about Kobbie Mainoo scoring against Wolves and things like that, and being the Man United saviour and things like that. And he was. So what's happened in that year? What's happened? Tell me, explain to me constructively what has happened to Kobbie Mainoo in 1 year. That 1 minute he's a generational, and the next minute he's nowhere to be seen, and he's not even a good player. Helge, and regarding favourites, I have no shame in saying that free Bruno kit and love him so much, but I wouldn't have sold him in the summer 100%. Team comes first. He should have been benched, subbed, team first. I agree, Helge, 100%. Ciao. Bruno is emotional and always complaining on the pitch, and it harms him. It harms the team, Ciao. It harms the team. Even Ruben Amram admitted that he was down in the game. He was upset. That is where Ruben Amram comes into play. And this is constructive criticism. Alex Ferguson's done it before. When you're losing yourself on the pitch, substitute him. Substitute him. If he's losing himself, it doesn't matter if he's captain, substitute him. Man City have substituted Kevin De Bruyne in the past. They had to substitute. You have to make big decisions in games. He's losing it. We got to take him out of the game. We got to take him out of the game. It's nothing bad. It's obviously he's never missed a penalty in a long, long time. So he's obviously thinking, and the way that Bruno Fernandes thinks is that, I want to help the team. I want to do this, even I want to do that. And he didn't help the team yesterday. He was actually harmful to the team. Helge, play the players in the correct position. We don't need Bruno anymore. Hurts me to say it, but it's imagine selling him and having a belay but mainly pivot with Kuna and Mbuma ahead of him solves it. I agree, Helge. I agree. Obviously, we're all geniuses in hindsight. We win yesterday and everyone is happy. At the end of the day, everyone's happy-go-lucky. Great. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're happy. But we have to look what's best for the football team, best tactically, and what every single other team would do, big team would do in Europe. They would play Mainoo. And if Mainoo flops, if Mainoo's bad, if he's bad, he can't be as bad as Bruno. Bruno's made 3 out of 3 mistakes. Tottenham, Arsenal, Fulham. So far, playing in midfield. We're bloody hell. Come on, guys. I think Mainoo he can be. I think he can be. Bruno's definitely not. Mainoo's better than Bruno in their number 8. That is what I would say. Whether he's good enough to elevate Man United, whether he's good enough to take Man United to the promised land, that's up in the air. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to do that, Steve. What I would say is that he's better than Bruno in that position. He's proven to be better than Bruno in that position. Bruno's been a better number 10 than that Mainoo. But if we can't fit Bruno into the team, we don't shoehorn players into positions. And that's all I'm saying. Absolutely. Fulham showed us up playing 2 in the midfield, and we didn't have players high up the pitch like we did against Arsenal. And that is the story, isn't it, Steve, about Man United picking the wrong team again. As I told you, guys, look, what I would say is that Fulham recognised the problem straight away. They saw Man United's midfield. Man United's midfield is Casemiro is very isolated. Bruno goes all around the pitch, and it's very easy to play against because you can just triple them, a triangle or around one player, and you can just go and you're past them. It's very easy. That's why Fulham get from one end of the pitch to the other end of the pitch so quickly. But we should have been 3-0 up before half time. We know that. You know what I mean? Bruno should have scored. Cunha could have scored a couple. We should have been. You know, and hindsight's a beautiful thing at the end of the day. But this is precisely what we're saying. The most important position on the pitch, the engine of the team, is the midfield. And if you've got one player in that midfield, right, who's not a midfielder, right? Imagine this, right? Imagine, let me give you for argument's sake, let me bring it back in the past, right? Imagine we got Eric Cantona. He's got all the attributes, right? And played him in the midfield. Yeah, he's great. He's skillful. He's good. He's not a midfielder, though. He hasn't got a defensive brain. He hasn't got the trap back brain. He's got an attacking brain. So Cantona become one of the greatest players of all time to becoming a distinctly average midfielder. And that's what I would say. Ogmigo, big up Ogmigi. I stay behind that manager, but tell him stop joking and start the work. Absolutely. Play Bruno where he fits or else bench him for Mainoo. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Tyborg. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Legend. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're good. Man United are considering offers for Onana. Yes, KP. Man United are considering offers for Onana. And also, guys, Rasmus Højlund looks closer than ever to be leaving Manchester United. Guys, Napoli are the team that look likely to get Rasmus Højlund. Napoli could quite possibly get Rasmus Højlund on a loan with an obligation to buy and with a fee to Manchester United. So I wish Rasmus Højlund the best of luck. I hope he succeeds. I hope he bangs in a lot of goals, and I hope he plays in the World Cup for Denmark. That's what I hope. Because one thing about Rasmus Højlund, right? Rasmus Højlund is a model professional. He hasn't moaned. He hasn't thrown his rattles out of his pram. Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? Guys, bear me a second. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm back. Like I say, I back Amram, but he has not done anything close to give him credit in the bank to get rid of the likes of Mainoo. No chance, mate. Look, you know, it's about opinion, Helge. As I said, it's about opinion, and every one of us have opinions about football. But one thing I would say is that you're correct, Helge, in regards to Bruno Fernandes. You are correct. And we can't, doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. I ideally want Ruben Amorim to work. I don't see any manager in Europe that's going to do anything different, right? Tactics, formations are overrated. They're overrated. But what's not overrated is playing players in their correct positions. That's not overrated. That is absolutely imperative that we do that. I like playing left footers on the left. I like right footers on the right. I don't like inadvertent crap. It doesn't work, especially when you've got two number 10s and the players are going on the wing and cutting in and bumping into each other. We shouldn't be doing that. It should be on the wing and on the wing only and getting that ball into the box and overlapping and all that lovely stuff. So I would say is that playing players in the right position, simplifying the game a little bit more, and we'll be on to something. We'll be on to something. Do you know what I mean? I'm tired of being bantered on Twitter. I'm tired of self-righteous Arsenal fans. I'm tired of self-righteous Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, City fans. I'm tired of it. It's about time we started showing them who we are, flex our muscles a little bit and start playing football the way we should, the way we are. I forgive Bruno missing a penalty, but it was the manner in which he took it. It was like anger. Yes, Steve. Spot on, Steve. Absolutely. He let the referee trigger him and he sacrificed the whole of the team for his own emotion. He did that. He let the referee trigger him. Roy Keane, Steve Bruce, Brian Robson, Eric Cantona, you know, they would not. Peter Schmeichel, never let a referee stifle them. Never let a referee trigger them, should I say. Never. He took it upon himself, selfishly, to smack that ball in the bloody into the Thames, right? For the sake of his own emotion. It's a crybaby. He's being called a crybaby on TalkSport. He's being called a crybaby everywhere. You know, put that ball in the back of the net, deal with it later. Give the referee a little nudge later. You know, that's what you do. Don't cry about it. Oh, you didn't say sorry to me. Oh, why didn't you say sorry to me? Look at Bruno Fernandes' penalties over the last what is it, 5 to 10 years now. Look at his penalties. Hop in the corner. Hop in the corner. Yesterday, no hop, no nothing. Boom. Chris Waddle all over again. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I can't believe what I was seeing. He definitely let the referee get to him. Man United are considering offers for Andre Onana. Yes, KB, we get it. I wouldn't blame Onana Mainoo if he left. Big up, Jamie. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Where was you yesterday, mate? Afternoon, Saviour. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Our coach follows your channel. Should have heard our cry. Man U fans were crying. We need the best of our team. Sell Bruno and use that money to buy good between midfielder. Saviour, look, what did we say before the game? It's not like I want to moan. During match day, I'm extremely excited, right? I'm excited. I love watching Man United. Whether it's good or bad times, I love watching Man United. And when I see something that's going to be harmful to the team, I will say it. I say, why is he doing that? Why? You know, and it annoys me because I support him. It's a bit like my feeling for Garnacho in a different way. It's like I supported Garnacho. Why is Garnacho acting like a petulant little child? I supported Sancho when before he came to Man United. I thought he was a generational at Dortmund. Why? Why is he acting like a petulant little child? And this is the thing, you know, and these little things at Man United right now really irritate me because they're not big things. They're things that could be fixed next week against Burnley, against Grimsby on Wednesday, you know, and I hope they will. I really hope on Wednesday, by the way, we're playing Grimsby Town, and I hope that we play a strong lineup. We need our players to start getting in the groove. We need them to start scoring goals. We need them to simplify the game. I want Mbeumo, I want Cunha, and I want Sesko to play. Mainoo should play, and guys, hopefully we get a thumping winner, which will be great, of course. Helge, the funny thing about Bruno Mainoo doesn't need to convince me that he can play as number 8. He has for United and England. Bruno needs to prove it because he's never has. I agree. And whatever we say, and my biggest point is this, you know, Steve could eventually be right down the line. He's not the guy, but at least give the guy an opportunity. Now, I mean, give the guy a chance. Give the guy a chance to prove himself that he's the midfielder for Man United. He did it in his first season under Erik ten Hag. He was a godsend to us. Dominated that midfield against Man City, against, you know, Rodri and big players. You know what I mean? Dominated it. You know, and I don't turn against players that easily. And the thing is that, as you said there, he's proven to be, he can play as number 8. But even if it doesn't work out for him, let him show us that it can't work out for him. Because at the end of the day, we all know it doesn't work with Bruno. We all know that. That's happened in the past. We know that, evidently. We've had a year of that now. You know what I mean? And it hasn't worked. Look at the Europa League final. He was nowhere to be seen. Nowhere. Gone. Disappeared. Kaput. You know, and this is what we're talking about. Maybe if Kobbie Mainoo played in the midfield, we might have beaten Tottenham. Maybe if Bruno played at number 10 instead, he might have beaten Tottenham. You know, and this is what we're talking about. Fine margin. And what I would say is this. I don't trust these players anymore. I don't trust Bruno. I don't trust Casemiro. I don't trust these players anymore. I don't trust these players who have proven to fail when the going gets tough. Proven to throw in the towel. Proven to give up. I don't trust them anymore. There's only a few players, I can say a handful of players I look at right now in that Man United team. And I'm not talking about young players. Let me talk about experienced players in that team. I only know a handful of players right now that I would say, I trust you, mate. Nietzsche fan. At Valencia, Gary Neville had a better record than Amram on 20 games. He was the worst manager ever. What does that make Amram? Nothing, mate, because it's context, mate. Nothing. It's context. You got to understand where Man United are as a football club and not just look at what's on the football pitch. Don't be simplistic in your opinion. Look at context. Context is everything. Man United have the worst owners in history. It doesn't matter Valencia. It doesn't matter about Man United. Man United will go to La Liga and come second or third. Let me tell you that right now. Right? The thing is, right, with Ruben Amram, what I would say is that the pressure at Man United is not Valencia. It's not Valencia. It's not Valencia. Man United is a different animal. There's so much pressure on Man United to succeed, to win. That is when it becomes a little bit precarious. Man United have been dragged through the mud for the last nearly 15 years now. Painting everyone with the same brush, you know, is not going to be. But let me just say this to you, Nietzsche. Wait, mate. I'm not taking what Ruben Amram has been at the football club for January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 8 months. 1 month of that was a pre-season. 7 months he's been with Man United. Only 7 months, right? He inherited a team that was toxic. I bet Valencia don't have a Sancho, an Anthony, a Garnacho, a Rashford, a Luke Shaw who plays when he wants to. I bet they don't have one of them, do they? You know? Man United have different problems than Valencia. And we don't paint everything with the same brush because then we're going to go make the same mistake as we did with Erik ten Hag. We're going to sack him. Again, we sack another manager. Let's bring another manager in. Same problem. Everyone and their mother knew that Ruben Amram is a world-class manager before he came to Man United. What makes him all of a sudden a poor manager? It's Man United. It's the culture at the football club. It's the problem. Everything that surrounds Man United is a problem. Valencia are a small club. It doesn't really matter. They lose. They don't care. At the end of the day, Man United is a big problem because there's a pressure at Man United. And you can see it. We know how good Mbeumo is. We know how good Cunha is. They played against us and they've given us big problems in the past. They will feel the pressure at Man United because the pressure at Man United, 80,000 at Old Trafford every single week, they will feel the pressure at Man United. So I don't think we should judge it yet. Give Ruben Amram some time, right? Let's give him till like December. And then we analyze where we are, Nietzsche. You know, it doesn't make anyone anything. It's a simplistic way of looking at football. There's a reason I worked in football for many, many years. There's a reason I could pick up the phone right now and call ex-players and talk about football. Because I have a good football opinion. I don't jump and I don't say comments like that, which say, what does that make him? If you know, if Peter Crouch stepped up for a penalty and Peter Crouch buried it, but Ronaldinho, right, stepped up for a penalty and it was saved. What does that make Ronaldinho? Worse than Peter Crouch? Come on, you know? Big up Helge, big up Nietzsche Fando. Savio, my son goes, the club had listened to Sal. We'd been a hell of a lot better side. He could scout better players and drive the club better. So I hope that they listen one day. Thank you, Helge. Thank you, Savio. Thank you, everyone, my friend. Thank you. I do believe that I have heard that a couple of players do listen. One of them is Rasmus. He actually said something nice to me, but you know, I wouldn't expose that, guys. But guys, look, you know what? I hope they do. And I hope you do as hell because we know about football. The thing is, right, this is why I don't listen to ex-pros as much because, you know, we consume a lot of football. We consume a lot of football. Football, Man United are basically our life. And we watch every single Man United game religiously. These pundits don't, right? So don't feed into their narrative, their hateful narrative against Ruben Amram. Because, guys, we will get Hansi Flick. We will get Gareth Southgate. We will get one of these managers. And we will be in the same position in a year's time. Maybe it's about time that we did something different. Maybe it's about time that we trusted a little more. Diego Dalot should join Atletico Madrid. Great. We need a right wing back, Samuel. We need a right wing back. We need someone who could, you know, play that. Van der Sar, someone like that. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of that player. Big up Saviour. The coach is Kobbie Mainoo, the only player who can play number 8. Trust Mainoo, please. I hope he does, Saviour. I hope he does eventually, Saviour. I hope he does. Google how context on make a similar situation very different. Thank me later and read a book. I mean, as I said, you know, Cantona didn't score as many goals as, for example, Kevin Phillips, right? Cantona didn't score as many goals as Niall Quinn. But Cantona was better than those players. You know, you can't say, oh, well, look at Niall Quinn. He scored 20 goals in that season. Cantona only scored 15. What does that make Cantona? Worse than Niall Quinn? Come on, guys. You know what I mean? I will watch Amarim quietly for 3 more games, then I will continue talking or zip up forever until he's gone. Omegi, it's not about zipping up. It's about constructively opinionating yourself because at the end of the day, we don't want to turn against a manager yet. Maybe give it 10 games, Ogmigi. We got Man City, we got Liverpool, we got Chelsea coming up. Maybe give it 10 games. Maybe then you can start saying, look, you know what, Ogmigi? You were right, mate. He's not the guy. You know what I mean? Maybe. You know what I mean? I'm not going to turn against the manager because we've been here before. We played this record before. We've been down this road before. I would say OJ Simpson's lawyer could tell us that the manager is not the problem. He wouldn't be able to get those players out of jail. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what I would say is that let's be calm. Let's be calm. The pressure is mounting. We drew against Fulham. Fulham are not a bad side, guys. They beat an Arsenal last year, guys. They're not a bad side, right? We have to understand that. We are severely downplaying them, absolutely. Hopefully, Amram can tweak his system to a 3-4-1-2, allowing us to use the free midfield setup where Mainoo starts regularly and Bruno plays as a cam. Absolutely. Big up, Ronin. Hope you're doing well. Ciao. Good morning. Good afternoon, Ciao. Sure, by the way. Sure, Bruno, Dalot, Maguire, sacked. Previous managers are still here and only United allow those. I mean, this is what we're talking about, isn't it, Ciao? Exactly what we're talking about. Don't lay on the manager too much because he's not been backed. He has not been backed. Guys, tell me, we came 15th last season without Ruben Amram's team. We still got the majority of not Ruben Amram's team there. Luke Shaw, Delict, right? Is not Ruben Amram's team. Dalot is not Ruben Amram's team. Bruno is not Ruben Amram's team. Casemiro is not Ruben Amram's team. Ahmad is not Ruben Amram's team. You know? This is what we're talking about. He has not been backed. He's not been backed. Let him be backed first by this thing, because we got to look at context here. It's very important that we look at context and look at things from a fair point of view and not just a narrative, that we have. I know a lot of us, we have our own pride. I know a lot of us have our own egos, but I don't. Because when it comes to Man United, all I care about is what's best for Man United. I don't think sacking a manager is best for Man United after we just spent 200 million and we get a new manager in with players that are not his and other players. We got Luke Shaw, who's been at Man United since 2014 with Louis van Gaal. Marcus Rashford as well. He's still at his football club. He's on loan. He's not left. He's on loan. He's still at this football club. 2014, guys. We have been dragged through the mud. And just because I'm right, just because you're wrong, or just because you're right, just because I'm wrong, doesn't mean we fall out about it. We all on the same boat. We all want what's best for Manchester United. We all want the promised land. We all want success. We all want that at the end of the day. That is ultimately what we want. And we're discussing what we need to do and learn from the mistakes of the past. That's all I would say, guys. Helge, that being said, I don't think Mainoo is in danger. Honestly, I think people would start protests, riots, and Ineos Glazers out if it goes to getting concrete. No joke, and calm. Big up, Helge. Look, you know what? As I said yesterday, you commented on my status on Twitter. I think there's a lot of manipulation tactics going on from the media. I saw this journalist, Helge, early on today on TalkSport, talking a load of smack, talking a load of crap about Man United, self-righteous, sitting there belly out like this, blah, 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 blah. Mate, have a burger and just get lost and stop talking about Man United. That's all we need to do. Bottom line, that's it, mate. You're not bloody Fabrizio Romano, mate. And that's all I would say, all right, and about him. Once this caused trouble with the Man United fan, they love an unstable Man United. They love it. They love it. I love an unstable Liverpool. I would love that. Oh, God, that'd be a godsend to me. And Arsenal. I love an unstable Arsenal. I love it. I loved it when Arsenal were the banter team. They still are a little bit because they're not winning anything. But I loved it when they're the banter team. This is how they love Man United in the position that we are. It's us against the world, guys. And we have to make sure that they don't win. We have to make sure of that. We need depth team to do it. And I look at bench. I agree, Saviour. Absolutely great comment. We do need depth. And this is again down to the Glazers, down to Ineos, isn't it? So Amram must not trust players who are part of the squad that sacked previous managers, much less pay constantly, and they don't fit. They will sack him again. Now, Ogmigi, I agree with you there. If we're going to use a constructive criticism, we're going to say that Bruno shouldn't be playing for Man United. Luke Shaw shouldn't be playing for Man United. Dalot shouldn't be playing for Man United. But then you look at it subjectively and objectively, Imigi. And you think, apart from Mainoo, who's going to play Estella Shaw? Heaven's not fit yet, right? Who's going to play Estella Dalot? Ahmad's not a right wing back, right? He's not, as much as anyone say it. We ain't got a squad. At the same time, we can argue that point, Agmigi. We can argue that point, and you're absolutely spot on there. You make a good point. But then again, you look at it, and this is not his team. These players he has to play. These players are assets at Man United that earn a lot of money. So if he decides to say, right, Bruno, you're on the bench, Dalot, you're on the bench, Ineos are going to turn around, Glazers are going to turn around to him and say, look, he's earning 200, 300,000 a week. Why is he on the bench? You know, and that's what I would say. And these things happen at Man United, you know? This is why I've been talking about and banging a drum about cultural problems at this football club, things that are wrong at this football club that have been wrong for years now, you know? Big up Agmigi, though. Great conversations, of course. Amram said before the season started, if he forced to change the formation, United need to get replacements for him. It's not the formation, Chow. I'm guilty as well of getting annoyed and blaming things that I shouldn't be blaming, right? We get annoyed, we get frustrated. Yes, part of it is to do with players can't play in a formation, but the biggest problem at Man United, Chow, is shoehorning players into wrong positions. That is the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem Man United have. If Man United had a balanced lineup, and I've seen it a couple of times in that formation, and it works, guys. Mainly in friendlies, but it works. The thing, and it works very well. The problem is when we're shoehorning Bruno into a midfield position, Ahmad into a right wing back position because he don't trust Dalot, it starts to get a little bit dodgy, doesn't it, at the end of the day? You know, and having players in that team right now that don't play that formation, never have played that formation, many of those players, you know? What I would say, Chow, what I would say to every single Man United fan on this stream, the great people on this stream, the great people, Man United fans around the world, what I would say is this, guys. Just practice a little bit of calmness. If we don't beat Burnley at the weekend, and you're hearing it from me now, guys, you could start throwing the knives because Burnley are Burnley. Even though they beat Bournemouth the other day, Burnley are Burnley, right? We should be able to beat them at Old Trafford. It's bloody Burnley. I think Mark Goldbridge once said that. I don't want to say that again. But you know what? It is Burnley at the end of the day. If it gets to 10 games in the season and we're precariously at the bottom of the league, then you could say it's not working out. It needs to go. But we're not like other teams. Let's not paint us with other brush with other teams. We're not Valencia. We're not West Ham. We're not Leicester. We're none of these teams. We're Man United, right? And we need to focus on ourselves, right? We will get there. We will get to the promised land. I promise you guys. Believe this. We will get to the promised land. We will get to where we need to go. We just need to practice. Stop doing things like we've always done over the years, the recent years. Sack manager, unhappy. Sack manager, unhappy. It took Arteta 5 years. 5 years. You know? And he still hasn't won anything. And hasn't got to European final. Miles, hello, Sal. Hope you're well. Big up, Miles. Hope you're doing well. I was so lucky David Beckham and Ryan Giggs playing on the wing. I know it's all gone. What I have, we become United forever. God bless you always, Sal. Big up, Miles, brother. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Look, you know, I feel fortunate. Guys, can I tell you a little story, right? I started supporting Man United in the late 80s, okay? Shouldn't it be me? Shouldn't it be me who's calling the manager saying, get him out of my club, get him out, he's not good enough? Shouldn't it be me? Because I've seen great teams. I've seen every team. Every Man United team that's been successful. I've seen every trophy of Alex Ferguson's tenure. I remember when Alex Ferguson almost got sacked. I remember the banners going out. I went to a game at Wimbledon. You know what I mean? And things like that. You know, I remember these times. I remember when people were writing banners, get him out of the club, get him out of the club. You sometimes have to practice a little bit of patience, guys. Not everything's the same. Not everything's the same. We'll see what Tottenham do this season. We see where they finish their first trophies in 30 years almost. You know, and we'll see what happens. And then we can make an accurate judgment from there, of course. Ronan, big up, Miles. Agree with you, Sal. Johan Cruyff famously said, playing football is very simple, but playing simple football is the hardest thing there is. Absolutely, Ronan. I agree with that. This is why I don't understand why we don't do it. I do think Pep Guardiola generation is really kind of killed the game, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's all good, Nietzsche. It's all good. Thank you for joining me, Nietzsche. I respect your opinion. I don't think Helge is being rude. He's just being sarcastic, mate. Helge is blessed. You're blessed, Nietzsche. Thank you for joining the stream, Helge. Big up yourself. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. You're all legends. Really appreciate every single one of your comments, guys. Clint, good afternoon. How you doing, my friend? Bruno has to play number 10 or get sold. Amron going to fire himself with the number 10s. Big up, my friend. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Really, really appreciate you. Of course, guys, really appreciate you. You legends, of course. Great to see you all, guys, in the stream, guys. Klopp, Arteta, Pep. None of them started great when they came in. I agree with you, Millie. Big up Millie, by the way. Good to see you again. Big up Jamie. Hope you are. Sorry I couldn't get through everyone's comments today, guys. Really appreciate that. Let me just read Tybo's message. It's player favoritism. Simple as that. Probably a Portuguese thing. I agree. And that is as simple as that, Tybo. I mean, we can't paint it any other way, isn't it? I hope Amram understands this and do something about it because it could cost him dearly. I agree. Or two-footed and imposing fan. There you go. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. Big up, Coco. How you doing? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Big up yourself. Guys, thank you for joining me. Sorry I can't read everyone's comments. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, guys. Really important. And put your notifications on in case I go live as well, because anything could break. We're imminently waiting for the Senny Lemens transfer, which could happen anytime soon, guys. That's it, guys. Guys, have a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are. And enjoy yourself. Don't worry too much. Bring on Grimsby, guys. Bring on Grimsby. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. And you Chatterboxers here, really appreciate everyone. And guys, don't forget to smash the like on your way out. I've had 60, 70 people here. I should have 60, 70 likes, right? In theory, in an ideal world. We'll have to wait and see anyway. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are. And I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Take it easy, guys. Peace.